Welcome to Figuring Out Homestead Life with Ginny and Allison. Thank you
Hi,
for
Allison.
listening. Hi, Ginny. So I am Allison, and I have lived on our farm since 2014. We have 103 acres in Steuben County, New York. I live here with my husband. We raise goats, a variety of chickens, turkeys, ducks, cows, and occasionally a few pigs. We also host visitors to our farm by ways of a farm stay, and we have offered goat yoga on our farm since 2017.
I'm Ginny. We live in New Hampshire. We live on about a little under 3 acres. We've been here since, I believe, 2019 is the correct year. We do a lot of vegetable gardening. We grow some fruits, berries, small fruits, no trees, just berries. We have laying hens, and we have some dogs, cats, lizards, a lot of indoor critters. I live here with my husband, and I think that's about it. We do a lot of food preservation and just kind of plugging along.
Plugging along. So in this episode, we are going to talk about the Homestead Festival that we attended. I jumped
Yes.
the gun. We have to edit this.
Oh,
First, we're going to talk about exciting things that are happening on our homestead this week. Go ahead, Ginny.
so we had some baby chicks born, which was cute and exciting, going out into the coop and seeing little fuzzy babies. And I've never seen them with the mother before. So I was like, why are they so small? They seem smaller than normal, but I think it was because they were next to the mother hen and she looks like a Goliath next to them. So that was cute. That's about all we have, I think, fun and exciting going on right now. What about you?
Oh dear. So I have restarted my sourdough starter. I took it from the back of the fridge. It's been there for a couple months. I did start a batch of kombucha, which I haven't done in over a year. And I've made some yeast breads because Randy likes just regular sandwich bread. We've had some rain, and so we're mowing between rainy days and sunny days. Claire, the sweet little calf, is now 3 weeks old, and the 2-year-old, or sorry, no, they're only 1 year old. The 2 1-year-old Angus cows are loving on her through the fence. It is the sweetest thing. This weekend, we're hosting a mindful yoga with crystal bowl sound healing with a new yoga instructor to our farm. And we're doing a small campfire with s'mores after that for the attendees.
Cool.
Yeah. I also need to get into the beehives. Yeah. That's about it.
Lots of, oh, that's it.
Yeah. And you?
Just my baby chick. Well, now that you listed all that other stuff, I feel like a slacker. But I did make bread. I did actually made sandwich bread for Luke today. Yeasted bread. I did, which I was gonna kind of mention later. One of my takeaways, I did revise my sourdough starter, so I got that kind of going on again. I have ordered a SCOBY for kombucha, but has yet to arrive. So that'll be up and coming. I'm
Cool.
very confused. We'll see how that goes. I'll probably be calling you with questions.
You can call me. And so I saw that you posted a comment. Sorry, we're going to go there. On Michelle Visser's Solely Rested's thing.
Yes.
On her Instagram. And I also commented because I never thought about taking the pit from a mango and adding it to flavor your SCOBY.
Right. Who would think that would even add any flavor, really? But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to try that.
Yeah, because the whole
Okay.
fruit is basically a pit. So
the whole fruit, the big pit. So we're going to talk about the Homestead Festival.
yes. We went to the Homestead Festival in Columbia, Tennessee at Rory Feek's farm. And it was really great. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a short drive. Did you
Yes,
ever check to see how many miles it is from your house to my house?
I didn't check the mileage, but it was a 6-hour drive from my house to get to you through Vermont and then into New York to get to you. So it was, you know, it was a distance.
It was a distance. So that was you came to my house on Wednesday. And then Thursday morning, we got up, did chores, and then hit the road to drive another 831 miles from here, which we didn't go directly to the festival grounds, but it's 831 miles from farm to farm, homestead to homestead. So yeah, it was a good drive, and I really enjoyed our conversations during the drive.
Yeah, it was a fun trip, and we stopped at all the little welcome centers. We got to meet Dolly Patton, whatever.
Dolly Parton, that's right.
Yeah. So that was exciting. Yeah, it was fun.
Yes. Do you want to talk about the speakers? Or actually, sorry, no, we're not talking about the speakers. What you liked about the festival?
Yes. So I basically liked everything about it. There wasn't too much I didn't like. Some things I would change if it was my festival, but it's not. But it was great. The area, the grounds in general were beautiful. That was just enjoyable to be there. We did get to eventually see some of their animals and their vegetables, which was nice. Let's see. So basically I liked everything. It was 160, I believe, vendors, they said. So that was, there was
a lot.
Yeah. So a lot to see, a lot to look at, a lot to choose from if you wanted to take home a souvenir. Interesting people. Everyone was super friendly. I think coming from New England, we're not known for being overtly friendly, and down there they are extremely friendly. Whoever you sat next to, they just wanted to chat with you, and everyone had kind of common goals, common interests, so you could really just start up a conversation with anyone, which was nice. So yeah, I mean, the food was great. Everything, we'll talk about more about the food, but the food was good. But yeah, I mean, in general, everything was awesome. The weather, it was just a good time overall.
I agree.
What about you?
I agree. So for me, a couple of the highlights for me were the speakers. Great speakers. All of them were really good presenters. The vendor area, I really enjoyed talking to the different vendors. I did purchase a few things.
Same.
Are we going to talk about what we purchased?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that now?
Sure.
Okay. So I got a really awesome hat. It's an embroidered ball cap. It says Goat Wrangler on it, and that was from Peonies on Sunday. She has an Instagram account. I did purchase a hive butler for my beehives, and I can't wait to use it. I just need to get out into the beehives. And then I bought things for the grandkids and t-shirt and a couple things for Randy too.
Yeah. I know, I'm interested to see you using the hive butler. I'm still kind of confused about that. You'll have to record it.
Guess I better get a tripod for my cell phone.
I just bought a couple hats. I did stop at you can find them on Instagram, Raw Milk and Deadlifts. They kind of spread the word about the benefits of raw milk. So I bought some stuff from them. I bought a couple hats, one for me, one for Luke, from Sow the Land, which they are, I think, basically educating people how to butcher their own animals at home and just do general homesteading things. So that was nice to support them. Cool hats. I like trucker hats. That's my signature style. And I think I just bought some homesteading swag. I bought the Homestead Festival t-shirt, and we got our complimentary tumbler. So
yes.
And I got a nice cutting board from some folks in Pennsylvania. I don't remember who they were, but they had some very nice wood products set up. And I got that. I think that's about it. Most of my money, I believe, was spent on food.
I agree. I think I did spend most of my money on food. I had the opportunity to talk with, they had a marketing vendor there, and they gave a free 10-minute overview of what we do on our social media. So like not a deep dive, but like a cursory glance at our farm social media, because we do a lot of different things here. And so she made some, it was called Luna Marketing. She made some suggestions that I implemented. Some I implemented that night back at the cabin that we stayed at. And then some of it I still need to do. It's just figuring out how to do it. So it was
Cool.
it was cool to sit there and talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have a favorite speaker or speakers from the festival?
Yes, well, definitely who I wasn't familiar with much before I went there is Ann Aceta Scott. She's a farm girl in the making on Instagram, and I loved her. She was so fun, very engaging, very informative, really just saying it how she feels, no sugarcoating anything, just really dynamic. And she was pretty severely injured. So if she's that entertaining and just informative and bubbly when she's recovering from a pretty significant injury that she sustained from burns, I can't imagine what she's like under normal circumstances. She was just so friendly. I did end up buying her book that she had for sale there, and she was kind enough to sign it for me. So she definitely stood out to me. I'm gonna be a follower of hers going forward for sure. I also, another person I didn't know before I went down there was Jill Reagan of Whispering Willow Farm. She wrote a book, Tiny But Mighty Farm, which is all about maximizing small spaces, which is all up my alley. So that was very interesting. And yeah, those are the two that really stood out. I also did sit in for Rory Feek's talk on how to live. I don't remember the exact title of it, but it was basically just how to generally have a life filled with meaning and purpose, which I didn't know what to expect, but it was really good. I got a lot out of it. It was nice to hear his story. He talked about how he started the farm and just how he's kind of progressed from being a singer-songwriter to what he's doing now. And it was very interesting.
That's really cool. I didn't get to hear that speech, because I think that was another one that was super crowded, or there was somebody else I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And I don't do really great in crowds. So for me, I started following Jessica Sowards from Roots and Refuge in like 2017 when I was trying to figure out how to milk my goats. So she and her husband Jeremiah did a presentation together, which was really great. It was supposed to be a talk about living the permaculture life. And there's a fly in here. And their talk was more about relationship, and it was just really great and inspirational. And it was about, I kind of feel like I need to probably talk to Randy more about what we're doing as a couple. It was really good. And then I really enjoyed, and I hadn't heard of them before this festival, was Paige and Derek Jackson.
Yes.
Grass Grazed.
They were great.
I went to their combat boots to muck boots presentation. And as a veteran, it was like interesting to hear their take on it, on, going from military to farming, which I had a gap between my military service and farming. But they're super dynamic couple. The way they played off of each other was great. And they have beautiful children. And I really enjoyed their presentation.
I
Yeah.
did see one of their presentations as well. It was how to transition your family into farming, which was ended up being geared a lot more towards children, which we don't have children yet right now, but it was still really good just to hear their story. And like you said, they play off each other so well, and just, very dynamic, and their kids were running around, and it's always cool just to hear people's stories and how they got into everything, what they're doing. So
Yes. I think you attended the one with Allison Bales from Bales Farm. She was talking about marketing.
yes.
And I really enjoyed her presentation. And then her presentation actually is probably why we started this podcast, because in her presentation, she said, just do the podcast. So
So
I'm
we're
going to
doing
give her a little bit of credit for that. And then the next day I saw Ann Asita Scott's presentation, which was also about marketing and social media with your farm or homestead. And I really enjoyed her as well. And I cannot believe that she was there after those burns that she suffered. That
in
is
the 90-degree heat.
yeah, it was hot. So there were a lot of great speakers. I wish that I could have seen them all, because like I really wanted to see Joel Salatin and Temple Grandin and Rory Speak all do their thing. But some of the tents were just so crowded, and like I said, I don't do well in crowds. But it was great, and hopefully we'll get an email with a recording.
Yes, they did say, so I'm looking forward to that, because we just traveled together. Our husbands weren't with us. So that's another thing, is I would really enjoy listening to some of them with Luke, since we're trying to do this together.
Yeah.
So, and you could only pick one. You could only see one person at a time. So I didn't get to see some of my people that I've been following for a long time, just because their topics weren't as geared towards me. So I ultimately went with the topic over the presenter. So,
Right.
I would look forward to just to see what they had to offer as well. Because sometimes I think the topic titles could be a little misleading, like you said, about the permaculture life. You didn't always get what you expected. So
Right. And that's so like Jill Winger was another presenter that was there. And I have followed her for a while. And I think her presentation was about homeschooling. I don't know for sure. But we're grandparents now. We're beyond that.
we're not there yet. We don't even have the kids.
It'll come. It'll
Yeah.
come. Yeah.
I think that was one of my things, where you were saying about the seating, though. That would be one of my kind of things I hope they improve, is maybe, I mean, the tents were really big, but I do think they need to expand the seating a bit. Just maybe it's even more popular than they expected. I'm not sure, but the seats did run out. You had to get to the talks. At least you couldn't just get there right when they were starting, or you weren't getting a seat. So
yeah. So another thing was that one of the talks, the Roots to Refuge, Jessica and Jeremiah Sowards, I got there 20 minutes early and there were no seats.
yeah.
And I just had a notification that we have 10 minutes left. Oh my gosh. So let's get to it. So what we didn't like, the seating for some of it.
Yep. For me, yeah, I think they just needed more seating. The food options, while the food was really good, they had a variety of food trucks with different types of options, but nothing really healthy. So I found it kind of interesting that we were, in this place learning about how to grow our own food, about health, about all these things. And I'm like, wait, this is the worst I've eaten in so long. And I'm at this homesteading festival learning about how to grow all this beautiful food for our family. And the food was good. I'm not complaining. The food was really good, but it was not probably the healthiest of items that I could have been consuming. I did get to try fried okra for the first time, so that was exciting. I got a homemade ice cream sandwich. That was good, but you know, maybe not the healthiest. I had a lot of iced coffee. They had a really good lemonade vendor, but I think it would be good if they offered maybe a little bit more fresher items.
Yes, yes. I also had an ice cream sandwich, which I will say I did not eat the whole thing. I probably shouldn't have gotten it in the first place. The second day when they brought the taco truck in, that was nice.
Yeah.
I don't know where they source their chicken from, but it would have been nice to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
the
more
second
farm to
day,
table.
the second day, after being out in the heat for 2 days, like 90s, I don't know, it was in the 90s and it was humid. I did break down and have a Coca-Cola, which I'm trying really hard not to drink sodas anymore.
Mm.
But I broke down and had a Coke. Just because I needed the sugar.
And I do, while we're talking about food, I just want to shout out the breakfast sandwiches, which again, probably weren't the healthiest thing, but they were so good and set us up to get through the morning of the festival it's the Crescent Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It is like a little convenience store / I guess restaurant. And the people were so friendly. I loved them. They were so cute. And we got our breakfast sandwiches from them every morning and our s'more supplies. They were great. So if you happen to be in the area, I would stop into the Crescent Market because they are great.
Yes, yeah, definitely great. And even though they pointed out their something about Yankees go home sign, so the keep the South nice or something, it was really great. And those breakfast sandwiches were awesome.
Yes.
We actually went in there for a bag of ice, and hey, they had coffee and breakfast too.
Yep, that was a score.
Definitely.
5 minutes away from the cabin.
Yeah. Is there anything that you learned that you're implementing on your spot of land?
We are going to be building some chicken tractors. So I knew about them, I've seen them, but actually seeing them in person and realizing we can do this, like we can push these around our front yard, no problem. So we're going to be building those and ordering some meat birds, probably just starting out with like a dozen, seeing, kind of dipping. Don't want to get overwhelmed the first time. So we are doing that, and I've ordered the SCOBY because that was a big takeaway, was the health benefits of fermented food. So getting my sourdough starter going, getting the kombucha going, and the chicken tractors. What about you?
So while I tried to attend part of Joel Salatin's chicken processing demonstration, I didn't stick around for the whole thing, but I did learn some things from what I could see where I was, because you got there early and then I went to the bathroom. So I learned a couple things that we're going to try to implement, and I think we're processing chickens this weekend.
Oh,
so if you and Luke want to come down,
oh yeah, we'll just make the quick trip.
just a quick trip. It's only 6 hours. So yeah, that, and I'm trying to eat healthier.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you want to talk about where we stayed?
Yeah, so you found a great cabin on Hip Camp, which I've never used before. I've always been like Airbnb type of person, whatever. But it was great. I loved it. I think he said it was built in 1790. I believe it was 1790. It was 17 something. I believe it was 1790. And it was lovely. It was way nicer than I expected. It was just great. It was perfect for us. It had a beautiful bathroom, which I also didn't expect. Nice
Air
fire
conditioning?
pit, air conditioning, fireflies out at night, the birds chirping. It was really great.
Yeah. So
I would do it again.
I have not camped at a hip camp, but we have offered hip camp stays on our farm since 2018. So experiencing it from the other side was really nice. And Keith was the host.
Yes.
He was a Southern gentleman. He was so sweet and had lots of stories and liked to chat.
Yes.
Super friendly. like you said, the bathroom was awesome and the air conditioning was great.
Yeah, that was much needed.
Yeah. We learned a few things about, maybe we should coordinate and make sure one of us brings a skillet.
That was
Maybe.
hilarious. We brought fresh eggs from Allison's property. I made bread. We had bacon. I'm heating up the
Bacon from our
coffee in the
pigs.
morning. Yeah, I'm like, wait, did we bring a pan? Nope. Nope, we didn't. No pan, no spatula, no knife.
But thankful for the Crescent Market with their awesome breakfast sandwiches.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and the bed was super comfortable. So yeah, it would be a great place to go back to a romantic weekend getaway for
It would.
a couple. And I could just picture that place in the snow. Oh, with a big
Yes.
fireplace.
Yes, because there was that nice fireplace in there. That would be very nice. Cozy, just very a nice spot.
Yes.
And the area in general was beautiful. Just the drive from whatever town that was to Rory Feek's farm. It was just great. Nice back roads, seeing how people were using their property. Everyone had cows, it seemed like. It was nice. I liked staying a little further out to get to see more of the area.
Yeah, because we stayed about 45 minutes from Columbia. So I think the town was Christiana.
Yes, right.
Christiana was the town, and then Columbia is where Rory Feek's homestead is. And it was great. It was a nice windy road, narrow, windy road drive. So
Yes.
the driver had to pay attention. Lots of cows. It was really good. And I'm so glad that I got to go.
Me too. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm very thankful you were able to go, and yeah, I had a blast.
Yeah.
So would you go again?
I want to say yes, I would go again. I just wish it were in a different time of year because June is really hard to get off the farm. God, I would love to go again. I would love to go again. So their next one is June 7th and 8th of 2024. So if I start planning now, yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, I would definitely go again. Yes, yeah, I would. I would like to go with Luke, if possible. It's hard for both people to get away from the property, but
yeah. Well, I know somebody in your area who has experience with chickens. We won't throw her under the bus.
we'll see. We have, like you said, we have a year to plan. So
yeah. So should we wrap it up?
sure. Yeah, I think we covered everything.
I think so too.
So
you can find us. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You go.
No, you go.
Oh, I just wanted to say we are now on Instagram with the podcast. So it is Figuring Out Homestead Life on Instagram. So if everyone could please follow us, share the page,